feel a heartbeat. I don't see him breathing.
On September 5th, the world was hit hard by the sudden news of rich homie Quan's passing. But now, new footage of his overdose has dropped, and it's got everyone talking. In this video, we're breaking down what really went down that day and how Quan's life spiraled into tragedy. Stick around, because what this footage reveals is wilder than you can imagine. Rich homie Quan's overdose. Rich homie Quan, known for his chart-topping hits and signature flow, left fans and family devastated after his sudden passing at just 34 years old. The events leading up to his tragic death began with a frantic 911 call from his girlfriend, a call that has now surfaced online.
I need an ambulance.
Tell me exactly what happened.
On the morning of September 5th, rich homie Quan's girlfriend woke up to find him lying on the couch asleep. At first, nothing seemed unusual. Quan had fallen asleep there the night before, and she assumed he was just resting. In a tender moment, she even covered him with a blanket to keep him warm before leaving the house to drop their son off at school. But when she returned later that morning, everything changed. Upon walking back into the living room, she realized something was terribly wrong. Quan hadn't moved from the spot, and this time there was no sign of breathing.
Feel a heartbeat. I don't see him breathing.
Panicking, she rushed over and tried to wake him up, gently shaking his shoulder, but something was off. There was no response, no movement. Desperate, she decided to turn him over, but the sight that greeted her was shocking.
I turned him over. I see he kind of foamed at the mouth.
I'm sorry, are you saying he's not breathing? Is that correct? I'm not hearing you.
Yes.
Heartbroken and terrified, she made the call to 911. The operator guided her through steps to help Quan, instructing her to lay him flat on his back. But as the moments ticked by, the grim reality began to set in. Paramedics arrived soon after, but it was too late. Rich homie Quan was pronounced dead right there in his home, leaving behind a grieving family and a stunned fan base. Quan's family soon shared their heartbreak over his sudden passing. Their world flipped upside down as they struggled to make sense of it all. Social media, as expected, flooded with tributes and raw grief. Life really cheated rich homie. He was so talented and deserved to be much further in the music industry. R.I.P. Another wrote, R.I.P. to one of the most underrated. He kept grinding even after the hype died down. Always respected Quan. For real, this one hurts. With no official cause of death released, the internet exploded with speculation, and the most common theory was that rich homie Quan had died of an overdose. This rumor gained serious traction when rapper Boozy Badass seemingly confirmed it in a tweet that sent shock through the hip-hop community. Boozy wrote, "Just got word rich homie Quan just OD. Just talked to Juan the other day." Boozy's tweet set social media on fire, with fans flooding the comments. One fan said, "Damn Boozy, are you confirming this? Bro, no way." The fact that Boozy spoke on it carried a lot of weight. He and rich homie Quan weren't just casual collaborators. Their history went deep. They teamed up on tracks that hit hard in the hip-hop scene, with one of their biggest collabs being Like a Man back in 2014. That song had both of them opening up about their personal struggles. Boozy talked about his time in prison, while Quan shared how he had to step up for his family. Their bond was built on shared struggles, and their music reflected that. In 2016, they connected again on Private Room alongside Tony Michael, which only solidified their working relationship. So when Boozy spoke out about Quan's passing, it hit differently. His words held serious weight, making the rumor of an overdose even harder to ignore. Word on the streets also started to spread that Quan might have taken a bad pill. Close family and friends hinted at it, and sources suggested he may have unknowingly ingested counterfeit Percocets laced with fentanyl, a deadly mix that's become all too common in recent years. These fake pills, designed to look just like the real thing, are flooding the streets, and the real danger is how legit they appear. As many already know, fentanyl is no joke. This synthetic opioid is up to 100 times more potent than heroin, and it only takes a tiny amount to be fatal. We've already lost so many to this, and according to the DEA, 6 out of 10 fentanyl-laced pills found on the streets contain a lethal dose. This is a crisis that's only growing, and unfortunately, it seems Quan might have been its latest victim. While nothing official has been confirmed yet, the possibility of him overdosing isn't far-fetched. After all, Quan had been open about his struggles with addiction in the past. One moment that stands out is when he appeared on the My Expert Opinion show, where he got real about his struggles.
Was it drugs involved?
Oh, hell yeah, man, I was on Molly every day. Listen, geeked up, bite down. Bro, I felt like I couldn't do a show or a song without being on Molly.
During that interview, Quan broke down how it all started. It kicked off when he began touring heavily and performing across the globe. The constant grind, long nights, and pressure started getting to him. It was overwhelming. The late nights, endless travel, and high expectations. He was struggling to keep up. Then a friend gave him some advice, and that's when things took a turn.
We was doing so many shows, I couldn't stay up. So I knew some people like, bro, I got something to keep you up. And kept me up.
At first, it seemed harmless, just something to help him power through the shows. But before he knew it, Molly became a daily habit. That addiction started creeping into every corner of his life.
I was taking Molly, bro, damn near every day, man. And I knew, like, my attitude was saying, I'm bucking on my mama. You know what I'm saying? I ain't showing up to family events.
As the addiction took hold, Quan's life began to unravel. The once vibrant and energetic performer was now a shadow of his former self, consumed by the need for his next fix.
I went and bought black curtains all in the house. That's how I knew I was tripping, bro. I did not want the sun to come up, bro.
The facts.
I brought, it was black curtains
The
all in
sun
the
brought
house.
the shame.
At his lowest point, Quan relied on drugs just to make it through each day, even taking Molly the moment he woke up.
I was popping them before I brushed my teeth, bro. Like that, I was starting my day. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you really supposed to eat, nigga. Now I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna take the Molly then eat. You know what I'm saying? Cause it make you shit.
One of the major turning points for rich homie Quan came from a heartfelt conversation with his mother. Her concern and love cut through the haze of his addiction, waking him up to the seriousness of his situation. It was a moment that hit home, making him realize that his choices weren't just affecting him, they were tearing his family apart too.
One day I just woke up like, damn, I don't even want to keep snapping on the kids. Like, I'm snapping on the kids for no reason. Like, damn, like, boy, you tripping, you tripping. I think my mama and I told me like, you all right? And when she said that, like, you can notice it. Oh, nah, that mom do, but I gotta chill out.
At the time of that interview, rich homie Quan had been clean for 5 years, which makes his recent passing even more heartbreaking. He worked hard to break free from addiction, but in the end, it seems the demons he fought so hard to escape caught up with him. Following his death, not just Boozy, but other rappers also took to social media to pour out heartfelt messages and tributes to him. One notable tribute came from Quavo, who shared a deep connection with Quan, especially back in the early days of Atlanta's booming hip-hop scene. The two spent a lot of time together, collaborating on music and regularly crossing paths in the studio alongside heavyweights like Young Thug and Mustard. Their relationship was built on mutual respect, and Quan's sudden passing hit Quavo hard. Quavo posted a heartfelt message on his Instagram story, along with a photo of them together saying, "May God be with us. Never saw this being a part of our journey." He followed it up with another post reflecting on their early grind, emphasizing how hungry they all were, pushing toward the same goals. Playboy Carti also paid tribute, posting several photos and videos of Quan to his Instagram stories. While Carti and Quan didn't collaborate extensively, their respect for each other's artistry was clear. Carti's posts were his way of honoring a fellow Atlanta rapper and acknowledging Quan's impact on the culture. Jackie, who had a much more personal bond with Quan, posted a heartfelt message as well, calling him a brother and a legend. He tweeted, "Rest in peace, my brother rich homie Quan. I love you for life. Rich Gang." Rich homie Quan and Jacquees were both part of Rich Gang, a collective that included artists like Young Thug and Birdman. The group gained recognition for major hits like Lifestyle, and during that time, Quan and Jackie worked closely, often collaborating on tracks like Come Through Remix and Feel It. Their bond was more than just professional. They were close friends, and Jacquees frequently showed love and support for Quan's work. Rich homie Quan's sudden death shocked everyone, but some fans think he may have left subtle hints beforehand. In the days leading up to his passing, he posted a cryptic message on Instagram that had people talking. The caption read, "Vision clear even through the BS." It was a strange departure from his usual upbeat vibe. Fans were quick to speculate. Was he teasing new music, or was there something more to it? The mystery surrounding his death has only brought more attention to the wild ups and downs of his life. Rich homie Quan's chaotic life. Aside from the struggles with drugs, rich homie Quan's life was pure chaos, a constant mix of highs, lows, and unpredictable twists. The turbulence didn't just start with fame, it was rooted in the environment he grew up in. Raised in East Atlanta, Georgia, Quan's early life was far from easy. East Atlanta, known for its high crime rates and economic struggles, shaped much of Quan's early experiences. The oldest of 3 siblings, Quan's parents split up early in his life, leaving his mother to raise him and his siblings on her own. Quan's mother, whom he describes as his best friend, worked tirelessly to provide for her children. Despite the challenges, she instilled in Quan a sense of resilience and determination. However, the streets of East Atlanta had their own influence on the young Quan. In high school, Quan found an escape from his tumultuous surroundings through baseball. He was a talented player, showing promise as a potential professional athlete. His high school baseball coach, Mona Gibson, saw great potential in him and took him under his wing. However, the allure of the streets proved too strong. As a teenager, Quan began to drift away from baseball and towards a life of crime. The promise of quick money and the influence of the wrong crowd led him down a dangerous path. He started small, but soon the petty thefts turned into more serious crimes. Breaking into homes and businesses, Quan and his crew targeted electronics and valuables they could flip for easy cash. Reflecting on those days, Quan once said, "I was rolling with the wrong crowd, not using my brain." Down south, burglary was big. TVs, electronics, the thrill of the heist, and the rush of easy money became addictive. Quan and his crew would break down the value of their loot, with a 60-inch television fetching $600 $600, a 50-inch getting $500, and so on. But as Quan would soon learn, there is no such thing as easy money. The consequences of his actions were about to catch up with him. At 21, Quan's criminal activities hit a hard stop. He was arrested and spent months in DeKalb County Jail for robbery. In an interview, Quan reflected on the choices that led him down that path.
What were you actually in jail for and how long?
I was in jail for burglary for 15 months. Yeah.
And that was county jail or state prison?
I was in county jail for 15 months. I wish I would've went to prison. Shit, man.
Quan described his time in county jail as hell, even wishing he'd gone to a regular prison. In other interviews, he shared that the experience was particularly brutal.
The hardest part is like the first 4 months. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get after the first 4 months. Yeah, I rather did 15 months in the prison in the day, but we in the county jail, man. So that's it. I did 15 months in DeKalb. You see what I'm saying? Like, real drag session, man.
That experience was a harsh wake-up call for the young artist who had never been away from home before. After his release, Quan was more driven than ever to make his mark in the music industry. He brought on Mona Gibson as his manager and started grinding, performing at small venues and pushing mixtapes. But even after that rough stint, he found himself in trouble again in 2017. On May 28, 2017, rich homie Quan and 5 of his associates were traveling through Wadley, Georgia. They were en route to a performance when their journey took an unforeseen turn. The group was traveling in a van, and their spirits were high as they anticipated another successful show. However, their plans were abruptly interrupted when they encountered a routine checkpoint set up by the Georgia State Patrol. The checkpoint was part of a larger operation aimed at curbing drug trafficking and other illegal activities in the area. As Quan's van approached the checkpoint, officers signaled for the vehicle to stop. The routine nature of the stop quickly escalated into something far more serious when officers detected the strong odor of marijuana coming from the van. This prompted them to conduct a thorough search of the vehicle. During the search, officers uncovered a stash of drugs, including marijuana, heroin, and drug equipment in the vehicle. The discovery of the drugs was alarming enough, but the situation took a more severe turn when officers also found a stolen firearm inside the van. The combination of drugs and a stolen weapon elevated the gravity of the situation, leading to the immediate arrest of Quan and his companions. Despite the severity of the charges, the case was later dismissed. Quan's lawyer revealed that there wasn't enough evidence, explaining that the tiny amount of marijuana found was in someone else's possession, and Quan was wrongfully accused. But legal troubles weren't the only source of chaos in Quan's life. His personal life took a dark turn when his father, Corey Lamar, was shot. On what seemed like a normal day, Lamar went to the barbershop he owned, a routine he had followed countless times. However, this peaceful morning was shattered when a masked man stormed in, attempting to rob the shop. During the holdup, shots were fired, and Lamar, who was also Quan's manager, was hit 4 times. He was rushed into surgery and thankfully survived. Police launched an investigation but were unable to track down the suspect, who escaped in a black Honda. Quan described the incident as deeply hurtful, offering a $10,000 reward for any information leading to the perpetrator's capture.
You know, like, it hurt me, but at the same time, bro, it's like...
Did the police catch the person who did it?
I don't even know, man. I put 10,000 on the news, say any information.
After dealing with the trauma of his father's shooting, Quan found himself wrapped up in another storm, this time tied to rumors involving Young Thug's RICO case. If you're not familiar with this crazy rumor, let's break it down. Quan and Thug came up together, rising out of Atlanta's hip-hop scene in the early 2010s. Their styles blended perfectly, Quan's melodic flow with Thug's wild energy. They had undeniable chemistry, kicking off in 2013 with Get TF Out My Face. Then came Lifestyle in 2014, which blew up and became a career-defining moment for both. But like many partnerships, cracks began to show. In 2014, whispers of tension started circulating. Then came the allegations linking Quan to Young Thug's RICO case, stemming from a raid on Thug's house in 2015. Thug got hit with multiple charges, and Quan found himself facing legal troubles connected to the same situation. Rumors flew, claiming that Quan might have cooperated with the authorities for a lighter sentence. Quan, however, denied these allegations, insisting in interviews that he didn't snitch or give up any information. Despite his denials, the fallout changed their relationship forever. Even years later, Thug hinted that something went down between them that couldn't be undone.
What's the relationship with Quan, with Rich Homie?
No, we don't have no problem. Like, I don't think we can be like how we used to be.
Right.
He already did. He already just did some and he already know my heart.
Their relationship remained distant until Thug's 2022 RICO case. However, just days before Quan passed, he expressed a desire to reconcile with Thug, even mentioning wanting to make music together again in a recent interview.
Who knows what the future holds? First and foremost, let's free Thug, let's free anybody locked up, let's free Luwak, Lucci. It's a touchy situation, so I try not to talk about it a lot, but I don't know what the future holds, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to have a conversation. And then it'll start from there.
Quan's chaotic life was filled with ups and downs, from legal troubles to personal tragedies. But sadly, his story isn't the only one of its kind in the hip-hop community. Over the years, we've lost several talented artists to overdose. Other rappers lost to overdose. Just like Quan, one of the most iconic rappers who tragically lost his battle with addiction was DMX.
Hey, dog, man. Beautiful dog, man.
DMX, born Earl Simmons, was a true icon in hip-hop, a name that stood out for his raw energy, gritty lyrics, and one-of-a-kind style that defined the late 90s and early 2000s. His hard-hitting delivery brought a new level of intensity to the game, rapping with a passion that was unmatched. What made DMX so unique was how he connected deeply with his listeners by sharing his own pain, rapping about the struggles he faced, life on the streets, and his spirituality. He was more than just an artist. He was a voice for those living through the same hardships. But much like Quan, behind DMX's fame and success was a darker, more turbulent journey defined by his lifelong struggle with addiction. His introduction to drugs came at an alarmingly young age when his mentor, Reddy Ron, unknowingly passed him a blunt laced with crack, a moment that would change his life forever.
I hit the blunt and I'm like, I was no longer focused on the money. I never felt like this, it just me up. I'm like.
From that moment on, DMX's struggles with addiction would follow him throughout his career, becoming more pronounced as his fame grew. The weight of his addiction led to numerous legal troubles and public incidents. In 1999, at the peak of his career, DMX was arrested for drug possession and animal cruelty, marking the beginning of a long series of legal battles that would haunt him for years. In 2004, DMX was arrested at John F. Kennedy International Airport for impersonating a federal agent and attempting to steal a car. This bizarre incident highlighted the erratic behavior tied to his substance abuse. Yet despite these setbacks, DMX continued to drop music and stay relevant in the industry, even as his personal life unraveled under the grip of addiction. Throughout the years, DMX made numerous attempts to beat his addiction. He entered rehab multiple times, each stint a reflection of his will to fight the battle. In 2011, after serving time for probation violations, he was released from prison, only to face another arrest for driving under the influence without a license. In 2016, DMX faced a near-death experience that forced the world to confront the severity of his struggles. He was found unresponsive in a hotel parking lot without a pulse. A medic administered Narcan, an anti-opioid used to reverse the effects of a heroin overdose, saving his life. Despite all of this, DMX never stopped fighting for his sobriety. But just like rich homie Quan, he ultimately lost the fight. On April 2nd, 2021, DMX suffered a drug overdose at his home, which triggered a heart attack that left him in critical condition. He was rushed to a hospital in White Plains, New York, where he died. Another painful overdose death that shook the hip-hop industry was that of Juice WRLD. Born Jared Anthony Higgins, Juice WRLD was a breakout star who brought a unique sound to the world of hip-hop. Emerging from Chicago, he became a leading figure in the emo rap subgenre, known for blending themes of heartbreak, depression, and drug use with the raw energy of trap beats. But just like Quan, Juice WRLD openly battled addiction, frequently rapping about numbing his pain with substances like Percocet and lean. His life was tragically cut short on December 8th, 2019, when he suffered a seizure at Chicago's Midway Airport, triggered by an accidental overdose of oxycodone and codeine. It was later revealed that Juice WRLD had swallowed several Percocet pills in an attempt to hide them from federal agents who were searching his luggage, which contained a large amount of marijuana and other drugs. Despite being rushed to the hospital, Juice WRLD was pronounced dead at the young age of 21. Most recently, the tragic loss of rapper Enchanting due to a drug overdose added to the growing list of young talents lost to addiction.
I've been trying to go live for so long, so they want that shit to change.
Born Channing Nicole Larry, Enchanting was a rising star in the music industry and had been making waves since being signed to Gucci Mane's 1017 Records. Known for her trap and blues style, she used her music to express her struggles, resonating with fans through her vulnerable lyrics and soulful sound. On June 11, 2024, Enchanting passed away after being taken off life support, following what was confirmed to be an accidental overdose. The Dallas County Medical Examiner revealed that she died from a lethal combination of oxycodone and benzodiazepines. Prior to her death, those close to her reported that she had been struggling with sobriety and had been making efforts to detox and get clean. Tragically, these efforts were not enough to save her, and she passed away at just 26 years old. Rich homie Quan now joins the heartbreaking list of talented artists taken too soon by addiction. Though he's gone, one thing's for sure: his legacy in the game is here to stay, and his impact on hip-hop will never fade. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.